Hello guys, welcome to Aquiring Movement Skills exam screencast. Just want to put this up quickly just to make sure we understand what we're doing. Now in the context of the screencast exam, you have a question. There won't be a mark allocation because I don't want to give that away at the moment, and your job is to maybe write down on a piece of paper the important pieces of information from the question. Now at that point you should pause. You pause the screencast. Your job then is to think, can you remember the memory method? Is there a memory method? And then can you translate it into an example which you extend. Now obviously you don't have to extend it massively. This is something you do in your own time to check that you understand it. Okay. However, if you get to slide 1, you pause and you don't know the memory method, you go to slide 2, you look at the memory method and then see if you can translate that memory method. If you can't do that, obviously the final slide is going to be the example, which will allow you to answer the questions from there. So I'm not really going to talk through the answers. I will go through the mnemonics and acronyms maybe just to show you what they mean, how you translate them, but I haven't got time to go through all the exam answers. You're going to have to pause, read and apply those to your own notes. So first one. Using supporting examples, describe open, closed, discrete, serial, continuous, high organisation, low organisation. You can see them, all of them. Be prepared to do all of them for the exam. What memory methods are there? Pause it if you feel like you can do all those. Have a go at writing them down. You need 3 examples I think I used throughout that. Okay, 3 of them that I can help you with. Organisation, if you have low organisation, it would be a sub. Okay, that links to the answer. Externally paced begins with an E, which means the environment controls the timing. Gross is another word for large, and then you can talk about the opposite to that from there. Next one. There's the answer. Okay, so pause that when you're ready, have a look through, see you've got the right stuff. Remember, there is multiple shot puts, multiple passes, and you then also have, I think, triple jump and rifle shooting on top. Okay, moving on, question 2. Identify and describe the characteristics of the 3 phases of learning using sporting examples. Now, this is really poorly answered last time, and I can tell you this, if this is poorly answered this time, I'm going to be really disappointed, okay, because this is a hugely likely exam question for this summer. Now, what I've done, have a look at it. Can you think of a way to remember? If you can't, memory method then. Because people are struggling with the ways to remember even the 3 phases of learning, which I find absolutely staggering, this is the kind of key focus I want you to look at. So phases of learning, if you abbreviate that or acronym that, it turns into pole. Okay, what I want you to do from that pole is make up a word, casserole. Okay, and you split up casserole like that. So you've got C for cognitive phase of learning, AS for associative, A for autonomous, and then the pole just links back to what we started with. Then the phases of learning, I also asked you to turn it into for phases of learning. Your job is to work out the characteristics of those phases of learning or descriptors using that. Do not forget examples. Moving on then. Okay, next question. Evaluate part, progressive part, whole and whole part, whole types of practice or methods of manipulating practice. Okay, so from that, what I need you to understand before you pause, can you translate each of those into a word? Secondly, can you think about the evaluative factors that you could use when evaluating each of those methods of manipulating practice? Memory method, translation words, entirety, subroutine chaining, evaluation A, B, C, D, C, F. Do you think you can use those in order to answer that question? Pause it and see what you can do. Answer on here then. That's how you would do it, okay? And then I'll let you pause it now and just check, see if you got it right. Write down key things that you're looking for. Next one, explain the multi-store model of memory using sport and example. Okay, so from there is no memory method for this. Your job now on your piece of paper is probably to draw it, characterize it, describe it, example it, and make sure you have headings of each of the boxes for the multi-store model of memory. Answer is here, examples are in, make sure you have characteristics, descriptions, examples, and remember, I suppose what is massively important is that then you have the link from one to the next. So I look here now, short-term memory, 5 to 9, chunking, filtering both. Right, okay, make sure you have the kind of thing that pushes it into the next stage of memory. Going on then, explain the strategies to improve retention. That could be one way it's put in, or long-term memory storage. Now remember, there's a very succinct memory method for that. Moving on. So you have it. Big boobs, memorable, large E-cups. Okay, so from there, Al, E-cups, Using that, do you think you can remember what they are? Or maybe you need a point, you need a translation word. You also need to be able to give an example in order to get good marks if it was a longer question. Here's your answer. Have a look at it. Have you got your key translation word? Is it linked to long-term memory storage? And have you got an example that shows you that the strategy you're talking about works? Next we're on. Explain the role of perception in sports performance and its effect on sports performance. So, pause, now have a think about it. Can you think of a way, how do you make a link between perception and an answer that could be up to 5? Perception equals interpretation, and interpretation is via DCRR. What does that mean? Answer, you can see that there. Pause it, check, see if you got it right. That is what you would need. Next question. Evaluate 4 types of guidance linked to sport and balanced active healthy lifestyle. Fair time since you've done these. There are 4 types of guidance. I'm going to give you now in your memory method the 4 translation words. Using these translation words, do you think you can remember the 4 types of guidance? Then do you think you can give a plus and a minus? And then do you also think you could link it to a sporting example and a balanced active healthy lifestyle example? Answer on here. I will say this is not as important for this exam, but it will become more important towards the summer. Next one, describe the nature of a motor program. So we're looking at this one then. When we're thinking about this, what is the memory method we need to use? Pause. Right, memory method. So you have your what, where, how example. So now you have the 4 trigger questions that will allow you to put together a question and an answer. Okay, the answer, these translated, will link to. Your answer should be as so. Moving on. Describe open and closed loop control using sporting examples. Okay, very recent, shouldn't have a problem with this. Pause. Memory methods, open loop control, fab, control, okay, linked to Fabio Capello. Closed loop control, we put a C in because we've now got that as the second one. So control, so we've got our fab with a C. Answer, as so here. Pause when you're ready. Next question, use some sporting example. Final question, explain the schema theory. Okay, so can you think of the memory method that we use for that? Okay, so going from there, your memory method should be kick into corner, ruck, scrum, score, conversion, match over. That is your memory method. From that, if you're struggling still, can you now translate those emboldened, underlined parts to it into an answer? The answer you'll be looking for the schema theory would look something like this in its most full version. Okay, right, thank you very much. That's your skill acquisition done. A few have been eliminated. That's what you need to make sure you're ready for your exam. Thank you very much.